Hey brother. So I want to share with you something that's kind of personal today, and what that is how I've managed to not go back to PMO. Now, what I've done, kind of inadvertently, is this technique, and what it is, last time I relapsed, dude, it was so bad, so painful, so awful. If you're anything like me, you write down how you feel after you've relapsed. You journal it, right? Now, I typically do this anyway. If I had a relapse, I would journal it. It's a really good thing to do, because you get to see, you ask yourself, how did I get here? What led up to this? What were the triggers? What do I need to avoid next time? What do I need to be vigilant of? Now, I did that, but this particular entry, man, it wasn't just like a relapse entry. It was a whole "don't come back, please" message. It was a "Dear God, don't do this again. Please listen to this" message. And this is how you get serious about this, man. You feel these emotions and you suffer like a motherfucker, and then you really do it. Now, of course, man, there's a lot more to, breaking free from PMO than just suffering. Suffering is powerful. The real change in my experience is a lot more to do with how you think about yourself. Even identifying as someone who watches PMO, even thinking about PMO, even thinking about this thing called NoFap. All of these things have to be let go of, but we'll talk about that in the future. For now, suffering. So, man, when this happened, it was bad. It was really horrible. It was really horrible. I felt the effects of this relapse for a whole month, every single day, man. I remember cycling to the gym, on the way, like, oh, for fuck's sake, man, this life, like, what have I done to my mind? And then on the way back, I was like, you know what, man? I can't do this. And I remember, like, it was a whole month, dude. And I just kept remembering, I just kept having this experience on the way back from the gym, cycling, like, no, it's not the way. It's not the way. I remember looking at the tree. I can still see in my head. I remember looking at the trees, and I remember thinking, yeah, no, it's not it. It's not it. It's not it. It really has to burn your soul, man. It really does. And it burned my soul. And this is the thing. So you might say, I've been there, I've had that, like, Jesus, man, this is awful. But this is the thing. The reason why this entry is so good, the reason why I didn't go back, is because I updated it, right? Usually I wouldn't update a thing unless it had new insights. But I updated this entry, and it was an update. And words like suicidal, depressed, lost are being mentioned. I wish I could share this with you, man, but it's just pretty freaking personal. All in capital letters type stuff. It's not worth it. This kind of thing. If you feel this, man, you won't relapse. You probably won't, because it's so bad. It's like the final moment. It's like, this is what I needed to feel to really push myself over the line, to really finally make the decision. Oh my God, I cannot go back. Oh my God, I cannot go back. Oh my God, I cannot go back. It's this. It's not like, oh Jesus, I feel bad. It's, oh my God, I can't go back. Do you see? It's that. That's what it is, man. It's we're not playing around when you get to this level, man. You just cannot lie to yourself anymore, right? If you really don't want to ever relapse again, you build yourself up to this level. You build streaks up. You get, like, I don't know, man. You break out of it. You break out of the cycle, of relapsing every other day. You get to, like, a week. You get to maybe 2 weeks. You start doing months at a time. And then when I think that streak was something like 105 days. And if you get to around that, what's that, like 3 months-ish? Get to that kind of time, which is not bad. And then you have one of these moments. It's extra clear. Wow, it's extra clear. It's not the way. It has to be like this, man. It can't. It's not going to work if it's like, oh, I just relapsed, and then I relapsed as well again. The day before and the day before. No. It has to be like you build yourself up. You relapse. You feel the suffering, you journal it, you still feel it, you journal some more, you still feel it, you journal some more, you build this entry that is so strong, and then this is it, ready. This is the important part. The desire never goes away. It's not like you quit PMO or whatever, you You transcend PMO and then it just goes away forever. No, you still have desire, man. You still have sexual desire. The key is you're just not going to go back. You can still feel the feelings. You can still have the desires. It's just slightly different. So when you go back, when you think about going back, you have this message. You have this message, man, right? And you read it and you're like, oh, Jesus, man, I wrote this. I can't go back, man, because I wrote that freaking message for myself. It's a message for your future self, okay? It's a message for your future self. You know, I don't know how many times I've gone back to this, man. Probably like, not too many to be honest. Maybe like 5 or something, probably more. I've definitely read it more than that. But in terms of, you know, using it as a means to not relapse, yeah, not too much. But man, you know, this is how I did it. You know, there's a lot more than you do than just relapse, suffer, and you know, break free, because there's so much work to do here, man. And it's great, because in doing that work, do you become a really badass motherfucker? That's what, you know, you become someone really awesome, okay? So don't worry if you're like, oh my God, do I have to do that much work? Do I have to do spiritual work as well? Do I have to be meditating all the time? Do I have to work out 6 times a week? I mean, you don't have to do that, but I like to do that personally. It makes my mind feel very, I feel good mentally if I work out lots personally. Anyway, so if you're not sure, consider this, man. Consider this. Just really consider writing yourself this message if you get to that point, right? And you can even write this message if you don't get to that point. But, you know, why isn't it that point for you? You know, is one thing I would ask. For me personally, I would probably be saying something like, oh man, I've got more to burn there. I've got more stuff, you know, I haven't learned the lesson fully yet. But that's just, you know, an idea. Anyway, man, so what I want you to take from this is this technique. If you're in a position where, you know, you do perhaps, you're shifting from counting days to not counting days, and you're building the, you know, these big streaks, and you're doing really, really good progress for yourself. If you're in that position, man, and you have a slip up, which is completely okay, by the way, it happens, you're human. My suggestion is try this technique. Write yourself a don't come back message for your future self. Write yourself this message for your future self and read it anytime you need, because it does help you, okay? It's there for you, man. You are getting your future selves back, man. You're rooting for your future self, and you're preparing for those times when it's going to be difficult, because it is difficult, man. It does get very challenging. But, you know, use this technique, use other techniques. Believe in yourself. You can do it, man. I promise you. It's worth it. It's worth it. All right? Cool, brother. So this has been a bit of a random, very transparent, energetic video. But yeah, it's going out. And yeah, man, take from this whatever you want to. Consider trying the technique, and peace.